I'm Swapnil and welcome back to my channel Swapnil's Analysis. Today we are going to discuss a very beautiful poem by WB Yeats. An Irish airman foresees his death. Although it is a war poem, but it is a very different kind of a war poetry. Here, the speaker he is an Irish pilot who is fighting in the war, in the First World War specifically, on behalf of Britain. Because during the First World War, Ireland was a British colony. And therefore, if you read the history of war, in the war, so many soldiers from the other countries, which they did not have anything to do with the cause of First World War, still they fought on behalf or on from the side of the Britain or the England. For instance, many Indian soldiers, they too have died in the First World War as well as in the Second World War, because India got freedom in 1947. On the other hand, Ireland got the home rule in 1922. So during that time, Ireland was a very brutally ruled by Britain. Therefore, there is a history of conflict between Ireland and England, and that lasted till 1980, till I think Margaret Thatcher, she signed a treaty between Ireland and the England, and afterwards that conflict that declined gradually. But in this poem, the pilot, he knows that if he participates in the war, he will definitely die. And therefore, he has not yet participated in the war, but he is foreseeing his death because he knows. Therefore, the title is An Irish Airman Foresees His Death. He knows that he is definitely going to die in the war, because one of the outcome when you sign to serve for the armed forces is that you know somewhere in back of your mind that one day while performing your duty you are definitely going to die. So therefore he also knows. But this poem is from the perspective of an Irish airman who is fighting for the Britain and who has nothing to do for the war, and therefore his outsider's perspective is reflected in this poem. So WB Yeats, being an Irishman, he knew very well how the Irish people they were suffering. Means Ireland at that time was living in a very extreme poverty, and therefore so many people they had migrated to the United States. Therefore, there is a very beautiful movie made of Saoirse Ronan, that is the Brooklyn, for which she was also nominated for the Academy Awards for the in the Best Actress category. So please watch that movie, so you will get an idea about how Ireland was during the period of 1920s and 30s at that time. Okay, they were also very poor at that time. So the poem here is a point of view of a soldier who is fighting for in a war for the others. So he says that therefore poem is in the first person, and poem is around 15 or 16 lines. I know that I shall meet my fate. Fate means here he is saying that I know that I am definitely going to die somewhere among the clouds above, because being a pilot, being an airman, he knows that he is definitely going to die in the air, in the clouds. Therefore he is very well aware of his fate, his future. Those that I fight I do not hate, those that I guard I do not love. Here he says that the people I am fighting against I do not hate. I do not have any personal reason, because I am not fighting for my own country, Ireland. I am fighting for the Britain or the England. Therefore, I do not hate my enemy, nor those I am protecting. Means here he is protecting mainly because England had participated in the First World War, and here he do not love the English people, because he was guarding basically the English people at that time, and they had a kind of enmity among the Ireland and the England, because Irish people, they believed that England, they were ruling them very cruelly or very badly or high-handedly. Therefore they had a kind of a hatred, but he had no choice. He will have to participate, because Ireland at that time was a colony of England or Britain. Therefore he says that those that I got, I do not love. I do not have any kind of feelings for them, nor do I hate the people I am fighting against. So his mindset is very clear. Then he introduces himself to us, how my country is Kiltartan's cross and my countrymen Kiltartan's poor. He says that Kiltartan is a county in Galloway in Ireland. He says that I belong to Ireland and my countrymen are Irish people. My countrymen are not English people. My countrymen are Irish people, and they are very poor. And therefore I am fighting for in the war. I am not fighting for my country. Here the poem is speaking about the war, that how war is very futile, how war is very useless, and against there is no kind of patriotism in war, because here he is an Irish soldier, Irish airman. He is fighting in the war from the side of England, and there is no patriotism, there is no love, there is no hate for the enemy. So he is saying the uselessness of war. What is the use of this war? Why am I fighting in this war? He had no reason, nor likely end could bring them loss or leave them happier than before. What here he says, that if England wins this war, there is going to be no change of status in the living of standards of my countrymen. Or even if the England loses this war, there is nothing going to happen to my people, means to my country. Nothing is going to happen. This war has no relation. Nothing is going to change in the lives of my poor countrymen. That is his, because if ever England wins the war, England is not going to award freedom to the Ireland. Had England declared that okay, if we win this war, then we are going to give Ireland freedom, then he had that cause. But that had not been declared by England. Therefore he says nothing is going to happen if the outcome is positive or negative. And then he says, nor law nor duty bade me fight, nor public men or cheering clouds. He says that there is no law which is compelling me for this fight, nor the duty of a soldier. Nothing. No one is forcing me in this war, nor the public men, nor the politicians. They have forced me, because this is the war, this is the cause of war. We have to win to protect our country, because here he was not protecting Ireland, here he was protecting England. Therefore not cheering clouds, means there were no people, means English people, they did not care. Okay, he was an Irish man and Ireland is our colony, and therefore they must fight for us. Therefore there were no cheerings, neither in his country nor in England, nor the English people, they were cheering for the Irish people. That is the same. He knew this fact very well. Then why he was fighting? He has described, a lonely impulse of delight drove to this tumult in the clouds. There is a lonely impulse of delight, out of sheer delight. He just wanted to fight because he was a soldier, he was a pilot, and he, out of that joy, out of that kind of that thrill of war, which the soldiers they are very excited about. Therefore he just wanted to fight or participate in that war just for that thrill. And then he says, means that thrill has drawn him to this tumult in the clouds. I balance all, brought all to mind. The years to come seemed waste of breath. He said that he had thought very well about the outcome of this war. Nothing is going to change for his country and for personally himself. He had thought out everything, and he says that now years to come is seems completely waste of time. Nothing is going to change. Here he is very pessimistic about his life and his future. A waste of breath, the years behind, in balance with this life, this death. He says that I am living under the rule of a foreign country. They are not treating us well, and we have been fighting for our freedom for a very long time, and we have wasted our breath. And in future too, at that time when this war was happening, there wasn't a sign that England was going to award freedom to the island. Therefore he says that waste of breath, nothing is going to change, and therefore it is better to die for what you love for. So an Irish soldier, he knows or he knew that if he participates in the war, he is definitely going to die. And therefore he says that rather than wasting time in his own land, in his country, it is better to die doing what you love the most. A very different perspective of a war, a very different perspective of a soldier regarding the war. A soldier who is fighting for someone, some other person's war, how he thinks, what were the thinking, what were the thoughts going in his inside his mind. This poem is a very good example of that, and the poem is busts so many myths regarding the war. Means patriotism, there is no patriotism for the person who was fighting for some other person's cause. Means same might have been felt by the Indian soldiers who were fighting in the British war, means First World War or in the Second World War. Again, he has no hatred for the enemy. Why the soldier fight in the war? Because a very, I don't know, but someone has said that when you are on the battlefield, you do not care for your family, you do not care for your country, you just care to save your life and to kill the other person who is there to also to save his life. So there, for a soldier, he fights on the battlefield to save his life. At that moment when all the bomb shells, all the bombardment, all the bullets, when all this were firing, the only thoughts those were in the minds of the soldiers, that is of to save their life, not to save their country. And here is the perspective of an Irish airman who sees that okay, I'm definitely going to die in this war. And then he said that why am I fighting this war? I'm not fighting this war for my country, nor I hate the people who I am fighting against, nor I hate the people, or nor I love the people who I am fighting for. So what do you think about this poem? Do write in the comment section, and thanks for watching.